Hi, my name is Luis, and I'm the co-founder and CTO of Stampery. Stampery enables users to certify the existence, integrity, and ownership of any file, document, or communication using the Bitcoin blockchain. So let's meet Alex. He needs to notarize his will. To do so, Alex needs to print multiple copies of his will. Yes, a full stack of heavy physical papers. And who prints anything anymore? Then Alex needs to locate a notary, make an appointment, and when he finally gets there, wait in a long line. Another option is to call a notary to come to him, but this is very expensive. Currently, notarization needs to be a face-to-face process. Basically, a huge pain in the ass. But it's not just wills. Deeds, contracts, oaths, affidavits, many types of documents are notarized on a daily basis. And this affects not only individuals like Alex, but every single business that needs to notarize or certify digital data. In Europe and in the US, $16 billion are wasted every year this way. And that's why we built Stampery. Using the Bitcoin blockchain, Stampery enables users to certify any file, document, or communication, creating an immutable record of its existence, integrity, and ownership. All the proofs generated by Stampery are automatically generated, impossible to modify, damage, or destroy, and valid globally, forever, even if Stampery disappears. Our product is an HTML5 app with iOS and Android apps coming real soon, and a public API developers can start using right now. So let's switch to the demo, please. So to notarize a document on Stampery, Alex just logs into his Stampery dashboard. And then he just needs to drag and drop his will. Then he needs to choose whether to store an encrypted backup or not. And then he clicks Stamp. And that's it. After a file is notarized, Stampery generates a certificate for that file. So there we have the file name, there the name of the authors, and there the date in which the file was notarized. And below, Stampery displays all the technical info that is needed for Alex or any third party to independently verify that this file was indeed notarized. There we have the Bitcoin transaction ID, which is related to the specific block in which the notarization has been included. This is legally binding. We also integrate in existing cloud storage. And today, for the first time, we are extremely proud to introduce our integration with Dropbox. So Alex could also link his Stampery and Dropbox account and then drag and drop his will to his Stampery Dropbox folder. Both the notarized will and the notarization certificate will be stored in his Stampery Dropbox folder. And after a few seconds, the certificate just magically appears in the folder. So as you can see, using Stampery, Alex or anyone can easily and securely notarize any file that is valid globally. So let's switch back to the slides, please. Stampery is built on top of the Bitcoin blockchain, which is a ledger distributed among tens of thousands of computers all around the world. Anybody can access it anytime at no cost. Building our technology on top of the Bitcoin blockchain enables us to be more secure than any centralized solution. There is no single point of failure, no central database to be hacked. The blockchain, however, has a hard limit. It allows only 7 transactions per second. Stampery's proprietary technology enables the registration of billions of transactions per second. We do this by bundling transactions together and notarizing them as a unit. It isn't as easy as it sounds. We can do this because of my expertise in the blockchain. When I was 15, I was awarded as the best underage hacker in Europe. So today, we have 700 users that are already using our service. And they have already notarized more than 3,000 documents and emails so far in our closed beta. We know that this technology has the impact to leverage other industries, such as financial, intellectual property, and specifically, patents. So today, we offer Stampery in a freemium model. Pro users can notarize up to 1,000 documents for only $9.99 monthly. And this includes both businesses and everyday consumers. We are extremely excited to launch Stampery in the US. So stamp everything, start now. Do it at stampery.co. Thank you.
All right.
I love your enthusiasm. So the last 2 times I've had to use something to get notarized. The first was we recently opened up an office in Singapore, and to get a bank account, I had to go get something notarized. And the second thing was to get a visa to travel internationally to China. Would those organizations accept Stampery documents instead of an actual notarized document today?
Yeah, so well, I'm going to introduce the CEO, Daniele, who will answer your question right now.
Hi. So with Stampery, you will be able to prove accurately and reliably and irrefutably that these documents were indeed created by you and at a certain point of time and with a specific content. So yes, they will have to eventually accept them.
But they don't today.
I mean, probably they will ask you for the physical stamp, but that has to go away. I mean, it's simply obsolete.
Got it.
So how are you, like, when do you think that's going to go away? I mean, what's going to have to happen for that change to take place?
I mean, now, to notarize something, you have to place trust in someone who has like a given power of the state or a local authority. But with this technology, you just remove trust on from the equation because, I mean, you have a single source of trust, which is the blockchain, and anybody can verify that this indeed happened in this way. So I guess that when we will have like a court accepting this, which it should happen as soon as evidence based on the blockchain is presented to them, the change will happen. I mean, it will happen.
So for me, it was a little bit unclear who you expect your customer to be, whether it's a consumer who's storing files in Dropbox. You sort of mentioned a business. I thought I heard developers mentioned. So maybe you can talk a little bit more about those 700 people using it today, and are those representative of the next 7,000, 70,000, 700,000 users?
So right now we have 3 main users: lawyers, certifying documents and emails, like creators, certifying pictures, videos, let's say digital assets, and then startups generating prior art, protecting their intellectual property with our service. We want to focus very much on the intellectual property side, and all the integrations we are rolling out are helping us to speak directly to the hundreds, millions of users of Dropbox, also Box, Google Drive, and eventually Salesforce, and so on.
What do you think, or if you want to jump in, go ahead.
No, good.
What is going to be the thing that leads governments to start accepting this, right? You say it's going to happen, but we still use paper signatures to sign a lot of stuff, right? Which is kind of ridiculous when you think about it. What's going to start the movement? What's going to be the use case that people are going to be like, oh, this makes a lot of sense?
I mean, this is just so much faster, so much cheaper, and so much more secure. I mean, at the end, trust, it's like a security hole, and it's a cost. And why should you have trust when you have a trustless system that can be verified independently from anywhere in the world? So, I mean, this is so much better that the change will happen because users will just switch.
Are you You go ahead.
I've seen other companies in the space trying to do this, like crypto, public notary, and others. And the question has always been a little bit to the questions here, like how do you grow that? I mean, fundamentally, it's a network. So how do you start the network? And so you mentioned Dropbox and Box is another angle, but perhaps international transactions where there's less of a sort of domestic nut to crack.
I guess what we want to do is to make this technology accessible for everyone. For that, we want to plug into the systems that people it's already using. That's why we integrate with emails very seamlessly, so people can just start notarizing their emails immediately. And that's why we're integrating in so many different systems that people it's already using. We want to make it very easy for them to start using the product.
Here's another question. When you talk about the IP stuff, let's say I have an idea. I don't know anything about filing a patent. Could I just write it down, notarize this document, and if someone harasses me down the line, be like, oh, I had this idea back in the day. See, I got it notarized by the blockchain. Is that?
I mean, you can establish prior art. So you have this like irrefutable proof that you had this piece of code or that you described this process. So let's say that if a patent is filed related to the prior art you generated with us, you can just file the prior art, which is, let's say, an established process, and you stop that patent being granted. So it's like a defensive patent equivalent. Let's say that you cannot stop others using your technology, but you can stop others stopping you, right?
Very cool. So we're out of time. Great job, you guys. That was Stampery. Thank you very much.
Thanks.